Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIII. It has been a long time since I've played this game. It has been... I feel like it's been close to a week and a half. It's been over a week. Me and the family had vacation and I was gone and wasn't able to play during that time. But we're back at it. Hopefully I won't be too rusty. It's really not so much you have to remember to do in this game. But yeah, we defeated that big boss at the end of last episode. Not sure how much longer Chapter 11 is going to be here, but we're still going. The home, well, dust to dust. The home that Thang and Vanille remember is a beautiful place surrounded by flowers and nature. But the Oerba that greets them after their long, perilous journey is a wasteland, covered in a layer of fine crystal dust. The hope they had been seeking vanishes like desert mirage. Though they have turned their backs on their genocidal focus, the Lassie's brands have not stopped advancing, and each passing second brings them closer to the moment of monstrous transformation. Oerba, their last refuge of hope. Refuge or refugee? I feel like refugee of hope wouldn't make much sense. So their last refuge of hope is a hollow shell devoid of life. But they must continue on. They must follow the road to its inevitable conclusion. I will say real quick that the more I've played this game, the more I can see and understand why it is criticized. Maybe not to the extent of people hating it as much as they do, but I can understand why this is a lower ranked Final Fantasy the more I play it. Most of that is to do with the combat. It really doesn't evolve into anything from what it was in the beginning of the game. And it was. I mean, honestly, I was having fun with it in the beginning of the game, and I still am. But once you've played with it for a while, you kind of see how shallow the gameplay really is. You're just kind of doing the same shit over and over again in these battles, battle after battle. And it's really... It gets annoying when the battles are really long, and you're just doing the same stuff. And I mean, there's still challenge in the game though, because even though it really feels like there's not a whole lot to do in the combat, you can still get your ass handed to you a lot. So the challenge factor still makes it kind of fun. Although it does bring frustration too, but when you're losing again and again in spots, what doesn't get frustrating, But obviously, like the biggest problem of the game is its linearity, and it's just too linear. It's just kind of lazily linear. Some parts are a little bit better than others. It seems like the more we've played the game, it's gotten a little bit better in certain areas. But still, and this is again coming from a guy who doesn't mind linearity. I really don't mind linearity. I like open world games too, big, huge open worlds to explore, but they can be overwhelming, and it can just take an eternity to really explore everything, and you want to explore everything, but it takes an eternity to do it. It's overwhelming. You know, it is kind of an inner struggle, if you will. But about everything else, though, I think the most consistently solid, best part about this game is the story. I don't think it's, you know, when it comes to the story, you really can't have a final opinion about it until you finish the game and witness the whole story as a whole. And this isn't going to be, I really do not see this game being my favorite story at the end of the day, or my second favorite, because I already have games in mind that would be my favorite and second favorite stories of Final Fantasy throughout the Final Fantasy series. And this game right now is not surpassing those, but I think, honestly, I do think the story is pretty solid. I want to see how it ends. I definitely want to see how it ends and how it finishes off. That could really make or break the story. But I have not thought this has been a bad story at all. I mean, sometimes I'll go. I'm not a big movie watcher. I really don't watch movies often. But just as an example, I go and watch movies with friends from time to time. And some movies I go and watch, and I'm just annoyed watching them, really, from the very beginning. And they just annoy me, if that makes any sense. Honestly, like, some of the movies that come to mind are the Marvel movies. I'm not a big Marvel fan by any stretch of the imagination. I've just never been a big superhero guy, for whatever reason, And that's, I know a lot of people love Marvel, and that's cool, and that's great. I'm just not. And there's something about the Marvel movies. They all just aggravate me. I think it's the sense of humor in them. And, I don't know. I guess I'm just more of an anime guy than a Western superhero movie guy, for better or for worse. I'm sure a lot, I'm not a huge anime fan, like, when it comes to TV shows. I'm not always constantly watching anime. I do like anime and watching anime from time to time. There's a few shows that I really like. But I'm definitely more of a video game player, without a doubt, than an anime watcher. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that I just prefer that style, at least over the Marvel movies. Like, even when anime shows are trying to be funny, trying to be humorous, like, I always get more a kick out of those moments than anything in the Marvel movies. That's just who I am, I guess. So, but yeah, the story I think has been very, very solid in this game. Gotta see how it finishes, but I think the story has been very solid. I think it's been overall the best thing about this game. And story is very important, especially, it is. And, so many Final Fantasy games have had solid stories, but really, honestly, I can only think of 2 games that have really hooked me with the story. Honestly, I think a lot of the Final Fantasy games being non-voice acted, because a lot of the Final Fantasy games are older games, they're not voice acted. I think having games voice acted, for me personally, I'll just say, I think I can get more hooked with the story and with the characters and the story moments and stuff when there's voice acting, if that makes sense. I don't think that's always the case, In fact, I'll just go ahead and say my two favorite Final Fantasy games. My two favorite Final Fantasy games are my two favorite Final Fantasy games with story, but they're also just great, solid games with great gameplay, great gameplay mechanics and systems, and yada yada. And I should just go ahead and say it now, but I'm not going to say it just because one day I do want to make a Final Fantasy ranking video. I know only like maybe if I'm lucky, 10 people will watch this specific video. But whatever. I'm just, I want to save saying what's my favorite, second favorite, and so forth Final Fantasy games for when I do my Final Fantasy ranking video. And they still could get topped. I still have more Final Fantasy games to play. You never know. They could get topped. But right now, on July 30th, 2023, my first and second favorite Final Fantasy games just so happen to be my first and second favorite Final Fantasy games with story. And my point I was trying to make is that these two games aren't voice acted. So games that aren't voice acted can definitely still have great stories. Obviously, even with me. I think some people definitely can have an easier time getting hooked on a game that isn't voice acted than I can. And it's not. I'm not trying to say like it's just I can't get hooked on a game that's not voice acted. Like, it's hard to do. I don't think it's hard for me to be able to get hooked on a game that's not voice acted. I just think it's even easier if the game is voice acted. You know, there's good voice acting. There's just cool scenes in the game. You know what I mean? Like anime-esque cool scenes. If that makes sense. But anyway, sorry to ramble. Again, like I'm trying to exit here, and I'm like pushing down as soon as I'm exiting. But you have to, like, there's a little bit of time. Like right now, I exit, and there's a little bit of time where your button inputs don't work. So you can't just spam the down button while you're exiting out of the menu, because there's a little bit of delay there. So that's why I'm like going back and forth like this over and over again, like this. That's why that's happening. Anyway, I thought there was more I wanted to see here, but now I can't see it. Whatever. Cast Protect Shell, Veil, and Vigilance at the start of battle. That could be very useful, potentially. They really could. There we go. Not when your HP is low. At the start of battle, you just instantly have these at the start of battle. Yeah, that could be very useful, for sure. But still, is it still worth putting on over just stuff that just increases your stats? Period. I don't know. I don't think it is necessarily, especially when you can just cast and put those spells on yourself. Anyway, it doesn't even cost MP or anything to do so. It just costs some time to be able to get your stats boosted. Lightning is finally almost about to get Kira. Damn. Oh my god, I think I'm fucking up here with Ravager, in all honesty. I really don't need to increase. I hate not to do it just in case. Just in case. But I really just realistically cannot see me using magic with snow ever. But it could happen. I mean, I was saying the same shit about Sentinel, saying it wasn't worthless. But no, there's some situations where Sentinel helps out. I can't deny it. Yeah, even though I don't want to give away what my favorite and second favorite Final Fantasy games are, like, they're not going to come as a shock to people. I can't imagine. Like, you can probably make a good guess what those two are. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Alright, will this raise your level with this? Well, I'm not there yet. I think I would kind of like to switch the party up. Here in a second. Just to mix it up. Because I like to try and do that. I like to try and use all the characters if I can. Here and there. Use them all. I mean, a lot of these things, like death is something that could become a big pain in the ass to deal with. There could be an enemy that just is always inflicting like instant death spells or something. I don't need to use like accessories that prevent my characters from being inflicted by death spells. Instant death spells. But I mean, so far, it really hasn't seemed like the status ailment spells from the enemies have really been a big problem for me. I mean, they'll cast some of my characters, but we can typically get around them for the most part. Have a character that's a medic, and they have a Suna, you know. There you go. There you go. Honestly, I need to learn to play and talk at the same time. I'm not the greatest of multitasking stuff. I've just rambled so much of this video away. I think we're like already 20 minutes in. All I've done is, for the most part, is rambled. I have not made any real progress in 20 minutes. Alright. Just excuse me, everybody. I'm just trying to get back into the groove of things here. I don't really want to do any fighting. I just want to move along here. No, oh my, you, okay. That's fine. That's fine. It might be good to have a warm-up fight here. It's probably for the best. Oh my god, we're getting fucking wrecked somehow. I swear Cura is not as good as just using regular Cure. I swear it's not. I swear using Cura is not as good as regular Cure. And there goes Hope. Alright, throwing Hope back in, that's the healer. If we can finish this thing off, hopefully we'll be okay. And there goes Hope again. What the fuck just happened right there?
Move on, instinct.
And then, at the end of the day, the battle's just... At the end of the day, the battles just aren't as fun and satisfying as other Final Fantasy games. And that's just all there really is to it. At least for me. And I have a feeling a lot of other people would just feel the same way. But the battle system is still, it's not bad. I want to stress that. It's not I don't think it's bad. Like, honestly, this really didn't feel like a bad battle. Like, I had the basic Ravager, Commando, and Medic. That wasn't working. I switched to another one of my preset by me paired gems. Turned Lightning into a Medic. Was able to bring her back to life, cure up. In that same paired gem, Snow was drawing the enemies toward him, taking the beatings to take pressure off of Hope and Lightning. Heal back up Hope. Once heal back up Lightning if she's low on health. Switch back to my main paired gem. Start dealing damage again. Finish one enemy, then finish another enemy. Fight's over. We were knocking on death's door, but we managed to figure things out and move on. Beat the fight, move on. And there's been a lot of fights, you know, where you go into a fight and you just have to figure out what you need to do to be able to beat it. A lot of the times, you got to figure out what paired gems you want, what strategy you want to do, what you need to do to try and take out the bosses. And this kind of seems like to me, like bosses. I feel like for the most part, you want to do the same stuff with them all. There's maybe a few different ways of tackling things. It's just that boss fights and fights against multiple enemies, and this is going to be true for most games, you know, that has bosses, but also has multiple enemies. You know, fights against multiple enemies you can engage in combat with. You gotta treat the fights differently. The different fights, you gotta do them differently, right? You gotta prepare for them differently. So sometimes you have paired gems and you're used to some paired gem sets that are, I think this is the longest I've set on this screen listening to this music. But anyway, yeah, sometimes you just get used to using paired gems against multiple enemies, and you kind of still think to use those paired gems in that way against boss fights, and it's different. You gotta fight differently against bosses. That might seem obvious, you know, to do. Like, yeah, duh, of course you gotta fight, you gotta tackle these boss fights against giant enemies differently, a little bit differently, but sometimes, I don't know, sometimes you just get fighting like multiple enemies, especially if they're not, you can get through them kind of easily, and you're just kind of like going through the motions against them often, taking them out, and you kind of unprepare yourself for a boss fight, because the boss fight might be a lot tougher, and you just have to be on your game a lot more with them, and that can really catch you off guard and really deliver an easy death against you.
That looks like an easy way to get where we're going.
Let's take it. Wouldn't want you to throw your back out climbing, old man.
You really are a charmer, aren't you?
Well, we're off Tajin's Tower. Alright, should I switch up the party? For shits and giggles. Alright, I guess we're pretty much at Fang and Vanille's home village, so we definitely gotta put them in the party. We definitely do. Alright, so Commando, Ravager, they're both medics. I'm missing, I guess I could have a Sentinel. Or, yeah, well, shit. A Synergist, I mean. I guess I could put in a Synergist then. Let's just go with... I had Lightning, Vanille, and Hope. Or, I mean... I had Lightning, Snow, and Hope in the party for so long. Let's just go with a... Fang, Vanille... Saz here. Yeah. We can even do Commando, Ravager, Commando, Ravager, Medic? Oh, he's not a medic, so she'll have to be the medic. Probably have to be this one most often. Commando, Ravager, Commando, Medic, Commando. I'm really in a tough spot. We can just do Commando and 2 medics. Oh wait, I can't do that. Never mind. Unless I have Vanilla as the medic, which I can do that. Why not? And have Sass be the Commando. And this is only gonna... I'll only use this if I'm in a boss fight, but... Let's do... Commando, Saboteur, Synergist. Yeah. Well, you... Yeah. Should I just do Medic with her? For this one? Probably. Alright, that's... Yeah. Alright, we haven't played with Fang much. We need to play as Fang some. When I say that, I mean more as more in the sense that we need to have Fang be the party leader. Alright, let's go. Well, here's some abomination. Well, that is a Seath. Getting a lot more Seaths fights. We weren't getting any at all. Since the beginning of the game, but now we're getting them all the time. The battle music did not change for this fight. I kind of like that. A lot of times, you know, with the older Final Fantasies, a lot of the times when you enter an area with some bopping music playing in the background, and then that gets taken away just for the generic battle theme that plays throughout the whole game. You're kind of like, damn, I wish the theme that was playing would still be playing. And it feels like a good battle theme too. It feels like it would work as a battle theme. This isn't really a bopping theme. It doesn't really work as a battle theme. But I'm even though I'm still fine with it playing right here. It's just not a theme that I like that much. Honestly. But it's fine. Man, this thing has HP for days. It's not doing a whole lot of damage to us. Should go for a Commando 2 Ravager set. Alright, let's try it. Go, 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 go! But, you know, you can't have fun playing this game. There is fun in this combat. It's just they're better games with better combat. That's all. I mean, I feel like that fight was kind of a decent example of how you can and can't have fun with this combat. Like, that was a battle I feel like kind of showed the good sides and the bad sides of the combat in this game. Look, here's another fight. Let's just go ahead and go with this Commando 2 Ravager set. See, that's cool. Like, knowing the enemy I'm faced. Damn, we instantly staggered this thing. How did we do that? Well, but that's cool. Like, I'm faced with an enemy and I'm like, yeah, okay, well, I know this other paragim's gonna work out better, so let's do that. That's cool. And we've instantly staggered this thing somehow. And we're able to kill it. Which I don't think it would have. I really don't know how we instantly staggered that thing. No, we didn't have a preemptive strike against it, did we? Were they two different enemies? I don't think they were. Well, anyway, whatever. Maybe one. I feel like they were both Taxums, weren't they? Maybe that second one was just a gas? I don't know. No, I think that first one we fought, I think it was a vampire actually, and then the thing we just fought was the new one. That one was a Taxum. I think that's what happened. It's hard to tell them apart. For the most part, I don't think this is a vampire. I think the vampires have a little bit more going on with them than what this one does. Yeah, so I think this is another taxum, so hopefully we can make short work of it like we did the last one. That's weird. Why do we get taxums after vampires? The vampires are a hard enemy to deal with. But the taxums are the new enemies? They're easier than the vampires? Just weaker versions of the vampires, essentially? A little weird, but okay. Whatever. Real quick, I want to say, this is the 5th game I've Let's Played with having commentary, and I think that even out of the games I've played with commentary, this might not be, this game in particular, Final Fantasy XIII, might not be my favorite among those 5. But if I were to watch myself play one of these games, like if I were to watch my Let's Play of one of these first 5 games that I've had blind reactions to, I think this is the one that I would most want to watch. I think this game this would be the most interesting watch. Because just the way just the evolution of how I felt about this game and this game's gameplay, I think would be fun to watch. That might sound a little weird, but I don't know, that's just kind of how I feel. Because really, I think I've said and have thought more interesting things about just talking about the gameplay of this game than just reacting to any story. I don't know, it could just, that's just what I think. Everything I've said could just come off as gibberish and nonsense to most other people. I'll just go ahead and dump these off here. Yeah, like, I don't know, this is another kind of critique about this game, is just the whole, you collect items in battle that are dropped by the enemies you defeat to make your accessories better. It just kind of just feels shallow, like everything you pick up, you're just putting them into your accessories, and there's nothing deep about it, really. You know? It almost kind of feels like, what's the point of doing this? Like, why did you even... Like, it might as well just be a... You know, I just find accessories and I just pick between them, and I choose to equip whatever one I want. You know, maybe maybe there's not always a clear favorite accessory you want to equip. Maybe a stat on this accessory is better than a stat on that accessory, but a different stat is vice versa. You know, it just seems like there's just an unnecessary step of just having to upgrade your equipment yourself. Like, I don't know. It just kind of feels like shallow, and it always feels like, what's the point of doing this? Just collecting drops from enemies and just shoveling them into accessories to make him better. Like, what's the point? I don't know. I mean, I just prefer. I would say I just prefer synthesis. An item synthesis, collect items, use those items, match them together to create something new. I just feel like that works better. This is another vampire, so this is gonna take a while. So yeah, we switch paradigms. That's cool. I realize this enemy is not really much of a threat physically, for the most part. It might work somebody down low HP, and I might just switch back to having a healer. But that's cool. Like being able to like switch to different paradigms at different times. That's cool. That's fun. But right now we're kind of at a point. Well, as soon as I'm about to say something, we already need to switch back and have a healer. Vanille is low enough on health where she probably just needs to go ahead and heal herself back up. And I think this thing is about to attack again, so might as well keep the healer for right now. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Heal up thing for me, Vanille, and we can switch back to Relentless Assault. So that's cool though, like being able to switch back and forth between paradigms at different times. That's most beneficial to the party. Like that's cool, I can get down with that. But it just seems like in this game that it just seems like the more you're switching between paradigms, the less difficult the fight typically is. Because if the fight's hard, you need a medic all the time. You can't go without a medic at any given time. And you just need them constantly out there, constantly healing. It's almost, I mean, this game is difficult enough as it is. So it's kind of hard to say something to try and make this game harder. Because there's challenge in this game. But even so, they could have, to fit the agenda of what I think could have made this game better, they could have they could have scaled the difficulty back. But maybe if your characters did have MP or something. Maybe if your characters did have MP and they just couldn't use magic all the time, that would make you only want them to be medics. And I guess even Ravengers at certain times in the battle, and it would make you just want to be more careful about when using paired gems and just being able to strategize better. And to accommodate for that, you know, they could have went down on the difficulty too, because the game is tough enough. Even with the characters essentially having unlimited MP, I mean, you can't just use magic unlimitedly. You know what I mean? Like it's still like it takes these ATB gauges to use magic or to do anything in the game, you know, but it's not really about having points to do something. It's about just, you can do something and it takes time to reload to be able to do it again. But it's just, So magic isn't really limitless, but it is limitless in this game. It is limitless, but it's not limitless, if that makes sense. Maybe they should have limited it more just to make the game more strategic, more fun. But to accommodate for that, because the game is already difficult, it's difficult enough, but if you're going to make the game harder, if you're going to make the strategy in the game tougher, you know, you need to scale back on the enemies too. But it just feels like they need to do something. I mean, it's just like this fight right now. I've just been brainlessly dealing with this fight. I need to, but I'm not. Yeah, I need to switch to Commando 2 Ravengers here. And we can just spam this. Just spam this. I'm just spamming X. So Fang can attack. And I just gotta keep my eye on the HPs. If someone gets low on HP, I just need to switch back and have Vanille be a medic so she can heal and we don't die. And once they're healed again, switch back to a paired Gem set that can increase this stagger gauge until it's staggered, and then we'll switch back into another paired Gem that is more suited for doing more actual damage to the enemy's HP rather than its stagger gauge, and you just spam that. That's just too much spamming. That's just, you know, they could have done more in this game. I need to be careful here because my characters are low on HP. We finally got this thing staggered. You know, they are doing a lot of damage with magic. Maybe magic really is better against this thing. Yeah, I mean, thing's only doing 30,000 damage. They're doing more than that, it seemed like. But yeah, it just feels like there's something missing. Basically, at the end of the day, when it comes to the combat, there feels like there's just a couple of things missing that they could have done to this game to have made the combat better. Like, they were on to something. They had some solid gameplay. It just kind of feels like it wasn't really fully thought out. And there's just a couple of things missing. Alright, what are we dealing with? I think I want to keep the nil as a medic for right now, because I don't know what the fuck this thing is. It's losing health fast, though. This is probably something I fought earlier. I just don't remember exactly how difficult it may or may not be. So let's keep Vanilla as a medic. I mean, she's a medic right now, but she's still low in health, so... Yeah, this is definitely something I fought at least a few times before. And we're essentially going to kill it as we stagger it here. Or just about stagger it. And we are running low on HP here, so Vanilla, do better. It's a good thing I've kept you as a medic. Alright, let's try Commando 2 Ravengers here. Go, go, go. Yeah, we should be able to do it. Sometimes I just do. I honestly just go brain dead in these fights. You know, especially when I'm just repeating, doing the same thing. And the fight's a long fight. Because I definitely could have switched to the Commando 2 Ravenger pair again sooner than I did, but I was brain dead. I was just going through the motions of this fight. Damn, Vanille died. Shit. That sucks. Fuck! I guess I'll bring her back. I don't have raise. Oh no, I'm fucking this all up all of a sudden. I need 2 commandos. Oh my god. I don't know. Magic might be better actually. At least we're hasted now. in the midst of me panicking, we were able to get haste on us. I mean, I think magic would do more damage to this thing than just physical attacks, but whatever. It's working out. Come on, let's finish it off right here. Come on, go, 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 go. 1 star. 3, okay. Another one of these things. This time-worn ghost town is Oerba. I hardly recognize the place. Could the Ceratosaurs I've been sent to destroy have done this? And even if they did, what purpose will it serve to eradicate them now? Are the Falsi planning to raise a new village in this white wasteland? Well, whatever they intend, I suppose I'd better get the harbor where the creatures nest. I better get to the harbor where the creatures nest. I guess I'll take the mission. If I can't do it, I can't do it. Holy shit. Yeah, but a bunch of shit just appeared on the mini-map when I accepted that mission. Alright, good. One last cutscene thing before the end of this episode.
Which is your house?
What do you mean, which is ours? All of them. They're all ours.
Yep, everyone in the village lived together.
One big happy family?
One heck of a lot of places to hang your hat.
We're back.
Well, I guess we finally officially made it to Oerba. I'll probably just title this episode Oerba Part 1. Even though we spent like half the episode still technically in the tower.
So, you want to take a look?
But fuck it.
We'd better. Gotta find something to help us lose these brands.
That's not the only reason we're here. You're finally home. Make the most of it.
Alright, well, there seems to be a lot of shit to get involved with here. Oh, shit. The enemy I'm supposed to defeat for the mission I just accepted is kind of in the way of progress here. Or is it? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it most definitely is, it seems like. But whatever. Hopefully that means I can do it. So this is where I'm going to end this one. And until next time.